Welcome everyone on this episode of Inside the NOE. It's testimonial episode, so we're going to hear some interesting stuff this episode, Rick.
Awesome! Can't wait.
So today we've got NOE board member and my wife and his sister Francine, and also my son Jeff. So they're going to explain to you a little bit about what their first experience at a Comic-Con was and what they think of Comic-Cons moving forward.
Yeah. Maybe I could share a little bit what I think too.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
The more the merrier.
All right, cool.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. So since we're talking about testimonials, I could not think of a better person to have on this episode than NOE board member and my wife, Francine. Hi, Fran. Welcome.
Thank you.
She had an in for this interview, though, I'm guessing.
Well,
why is she the first one to be interviewed?
She didn't volunteer. She was voluntold.
Oh, there you go.
So she was voluntold to be this thing. So anyway, Fran, I couldn't think of anyone else better to be our one of our main testimonials. Now, when you and I first met and we got married and all that kind of stuff, you were not into any of this science fiction, comic books, DC shows on TV. You were like zero interest, correct?
Correct.
And you were not being paid for this interview, correct?
Correct.
Okay, just to make sure. So, I think maybe we'll go through some questions, and I think it's important to have our viewers hear from someone who wasn't into this type of genre. So when I know we've been to many Comic-Cons, Fran, more specifically the Fan Expo in Toronto. So when we went to our first Fan Expo in Toronto, what was your first impression?
Okay, so when we first went, I said, "You're taking me where and what is this? I don't know what this is." And I see people dressed up and it's not Halloween, and I'm looking around and I'm saying, freaks. And I went in because this is what good wives do, they support their husbands. And so I go in and we walk around and look around. I'm like, okay, it's nothing big. I said, but it'll be my first and last time. I do this once and I never go again. So I looked around and we had to wait in line because we wanted an autograph. And it was, long wait. There was actors there, didn't know what show they were from. But my first impression was, okay, this is a little bit weird. I don't even know what this is. What is this? So yeah, I never thought I'd be back. Let's just put it that way.
You remember the strangest thing you saw the first time you went to the Fan Expo?
Yeah, like people dressed up in the strangest cosplay. I know that word now, but back then I would say costume. Just the strangest thing, and it's not even Halloween. Like, why would you do that? It's weird, it's geeky, it's strange. Yeah.
Now, was there something there that you found interesting and you went, oh, okay, it's actually not that bad? Like, was there something that stood out to you when you went the first time?
Well, I like the
on
kids
the positive
area.
side. On the positive side.
Yeah. I like the kids area. There was all these. I'm not into Legos. I hate Legos. But there was the Lego section where there was like a master Lego builder. I know that word now too. And I just thought it was amazing that this guy could just build just anything. There was all kinds of different building Lego statues everywhere. I liked the shopping area too. I thought it was pretty cool where there was different vendors. And then I also like the artists. Like I thought it was kind of weird to see all these different artwork, but nothing that I would have in my house. I didn't think I would ever have any pictures or anything from anybody like that. But I thought that was pretty cool to see the talent of the artists and all the vendors stuff that you can purchase over there. I thought it was pretty cool.
I guess that's my favorite part too, is looking at the artwork. Like those people are incredible. Like I love to draw, but man, what they can do is unbelievable.
the artwork in the back there, that's just amazing artwork from different people back there
Yeah,
too.
if you look at back behind us here, it's just I don't know how they do it. I really don't. It's just such an incredible talent.
My
Now,
stick men are nothing close to what's in back of us.
now let's just say I have art in my living room and in my bedroom.
Which we will get to. Let's just hang on a second, which we will get to. So now that we've got a great story for everyone here. So now, Fran, that you're considered a geek, and you're pretty heavily. That's right. you're heavily involved with the organization and with the NOE. What was the turning point? I know there's one key turning point that turned everything all around for you, and it's a very interesting and funny story. So maybe you can kind of give us your story of how you became a geek.
Okay, so one year I did go again just because I said, well, I'll try it again. And there was this actor, he was a Canadian actor, and Jason said, I want to get his autograph because his DC show is really good and it's the first season. And the show was Arrow. I don't know if anybody heard of that show, but it's really, Jason thought, oh, this is a good show and I want to get Stephen Amell's autograph. And I said, okay, fine, we'll go. So we waited in line and, I get to meet him. I have no idea who this guy is. And the girls at work says, you're going to see Stephen Amell. I said, yeah, who's that? And they're, oh my God, it's the guy that plays Arrow on Arrow. And I'm like, so? And I've never watched this show. So Jason's getting an autograph. And I said, can I touch your arm? Just because the girls at work want me to touch you somehow. So if I can touch your arm. And sure enough, he let me touch his arm and I took a picture of it. So I sent it to the girls and they're freaking. And I'm like, what? Who is this guy? So that summer, and then the following summer, we were at the camp and I didn't bring any movies. And I said, Jay, did you bring any movies? So season 1 just came out. And then season 2 came out of Arrow. And he goes, well, I only have this show Arrow. And I said, oh, whatever, just put it in. We had nothing to watch. It was a rainy day. So I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, it's all right. It's not the best. And then I kept watching and watching and watching. And I ended up watching it season 1 in like 2 weeks. And then season 2 on DVD came out right after. And I knew we were going back to Fan Expo because I wanted to go see Stephen Amell now. Because I told you, I said, we're not coming back for this guy. You already got his autograph. You don't need another one. So I came the next year. Jason says, guess who is there? And I said, who? And he's there. Stephen Amell. I said, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. We need to go to Fan Expo, Jay. We need to go see Stephen Amell. So what did I do? I binge watched those shows. I got to meet him and I said, you know what? I came here for me this time to meet you. I got a meet and greet with him. I was able to take a celebrity photo op and I got him to sign it. And I think that's how I became the geek that I am today. I love these shows. I love Lucifer. I watch DC, all the DC movies. I watch The Flash. I watch all kinds of Marvel shows now. But when we saw him the second time, I go to Jay, wait in line, go, oh my God, he's so much cuter than he was last year. And anyway, so that's how I became part of the Comic-Con and a geek that I am now, and I'm proud of it.
See, for some reason, I knew it was going to be about an actor. I knew it was going to be about somebody. I knew for sure. And that the one that you wanted to go back to, was it you didn't want to go this time, but like a good husband, you said, absolutely, I will bring you back to the Fan Expo.
Even though she almost like said, there's no chance in hell that we're going back the following year. I said, okay, I will listen and I will support you in what you want to do. So if you want to go back and meet him. And the best part about it is I've never seen her starstruck before. And she was like a little kid in the candy store. Oh my God, and then he walked from behind the curtain.
So much fear.
Sat at his table, and anyway, it was absolutely hilarious. So,
did you touch his arm again?
Actually, this time I was able to put my arm around him. I paid like $100 for that though, and I was able to put my arm around him and take a picture with him. So now, I have it hanging up in my office, and it's signed to Fran from Stephen Amell.
And just to go back on the not having any artwork in our house. there is now a Stephen Amell picture hanging beside this on the side of my wife's bed, just to let everyone know. So
Yep.
What is she looking at? Wait, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Let's just move forward.
it's all good in the hood.
Yeah, you can't go there.
It is a kid and family show. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
so now that you've been to many fan expos, Fran, and we've got 10 years of Timmins Con under our belt, or we're gonna have our 10th year coming up in April 2022.
Yep.
For someone who's watching this and hasn't had the opportunity to go to a Comic-Con, a comic book convention, Timmins Con, whatever the case may be, what kind of advice would you give them before they attend that type of event?
Well, I'd say, you know what, if you're from Timmins, start off with ours. It's a small portion of what you would get at a huge show, but it gives you an opportunity to see that this is not weird. This is amazing. There's amazing stuff happening. We have Pokemon tournaments. We had Pokemon tournaments in there. We have a kids area for kids to entertain themselves. We have our vendors and artists and celebrities and cosplayers coming in. We have, our own cosplayers where we have Batman and Deadpool and all kinds of different ones like that, the Minions. So it's a really great family fun event, especially in Timmins, because you don't get that anywhere else. Like, you don't get that in Timmins. We're the only ones that could host something so good like that. When I do work the door at the Timmins Con, I kind of see people coming in and out. And when I see people come in and then they leave like 4 or 5 hours later, it just makes it even more like amazing to know that people are staying 5-6 hours at our show, which means there's a lot to do. And it's not just for 2-year-olds. It could go 2 to 100, because I'm sure there's some geeks, grandparent geeks out there that need to come in with their grandkids to see what it's all about. I mean, the kids love Sonic, they love Spider-Man. And where would you find that? At the Timmins Con. So, if you haven't come before, it's a chance to take. It's not expensive to get in. And there's a lot to do for all kinds of different age groups. So.
See, I've been to all of them, but I haven't seen Batman there. When was Batman at the event? I didn't see Batman.
Yeah, it's funny that Batman and Rick never see each other.
I've never seen him. It's frustrating because I want to meet him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know, Rick, we were talking before we started recording that you've been to one of the bigger cons down in Toronto, correct?
Just the one, yeah.
And what was your impression on that?
To me, it was overwhelming. And I'm usually good with crowds and stuff, but I don't know. I was just overwhelmed because there was just so much going on that I really was having like a little bit of a panic attack. I had to walk away a little bit. I don't know why. I've never been like that before. But the one here in Timmins is just, I guess because it's a smaller group and I know a lot of the people that are there, I'm just so much more comfortable. I was able to look at so much artwork and purchase some artwork from some of the people there. And so if you've never been to one, like Fran was just saying, I suggest going to the one here and getting a taste of it. And it's not a taste. It's almost the exact same thing, just as a smaller scale. You get all the same type of stuff, just a smaller scale. So it's not as intimidating for people who don't like the big crowds.
Yeah, no, for sure. We and we've discussed this on previous episodes where we've taken the fan expo model, and obviously because of, again, the magical words were geographically challenged here in Timmins. We don't have the population of a GTA where we can bring in excess of 100,000 people through their doors. We do the best that we can with the population that we have and the support that we have, but we still try to, pick and choose certain aspects of their event and try and do the same thing here on a much smaller scale. And I think so far, going into 10 years, I think we've done a pretty good job of growing the overall product. When we have people calling us to try and book a booth or try and book an actor or try and book some type of act, I think that we've established a pretty good repertoire and a pretty good resume where people feel comfortable contacting our group to see if they want to, do something with us moving forward. So I think it's a salute to the hard work that our board have put in and all of our volunteers have put in. And I think the future looks very good for Timmins Con and for the Northern Ontario Expo. So with that, Fran, before we sign off and we let you go back and watch some more episodes of Lucifer, leading into April 9th and 10th, 2022, I know we've got some things that we cannot release yet, but what are some of the things you're looking forward to 2022?
I'm looking forward to meeting Daniel Cudmore. I know he's coming to the con. I will have to catch up though on watching Master Chief and him and as Colossal and the X-Men. I guess that's my summer. I might have to do that this summer. I'm also anxious to see the vendors and artists come back, because it's been 2 years where we didn't have that, and I'm sure they've worked hard within those 2 years of creating new things, new pictures, new drawings and different things like that. Also seeing our Pokemon statues coming in. I mean, that's just, I didn't get to see it. My son went to Fan Expo, Jeff, and with Jay, and he got to see it, and he thought it was just amazing. And also the DeLorean. I mean, I'd love to see the DeLorean. I've watched Back to the Future, and that would be cool too. So just the amazing attractions coming in that are announced so far, but I know we have a big announcement coming soon. And that's just going to be, the top of it all, the icing on the cake, maybe the cherry on top, just to show that how much our event has grown over the years, and it's amazing. So I'm anxious for all the things that's gonna be happening soon at the TeamsCon.
It is a huge announcement.
Yeah, huge. Even in stature, huge. Like it's huge. Big, huge, like huge. I cannot stress the word huge, how big this thing is. So anyway, thanks, Fran, for your time. We appreciate your testimonial. I think this is important that people hear this. So again, thanks, and we'll be back after these words.
Perfect. Thank you.
Taking care of work and family demands a lot, but who's taking care of you? As busy as it gets, it's important to think about life insurance and what can happen in the event of the unexpected. It's okay to have questions like, what's the best type of life insurance for you? How much coverage do you need? How much can you afford? We can help you find the right policy for your budget and your life. And with solid life insurance in place, you can focus on what matters most. Like spending quality time with your loved ones. At the Cooperators, we put people and their needs first. Get your life insurance quote today at cooperators.ca.
Welcome back, everyone. That was a pretty good interview with Fran.
Yeah. I knew she wasn't a geek growing up. That's my sister, for those that didn't know. I was a geek growing up, but yeah, she was never into that stuff. And you really turned her into a full-fledged geek.
Yeah. Well, I can't take the credit. I got to say, all hail Stephen Amell. He's the one who made this happen. So thanks, Stephen. If you're watching this, if you ever watched this, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you converting her to a geek. So, speaking of geek, I think it's important that we get a perspective from someone who is an adult, but also a perspective from someone who is a young man. And we have the pleasure of having a young man with us today that we all know very well. Hi, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. I'm doing good.
Good. So we're gonna kind of remember when we went to Fan Expo for your first time. You went with Ted, and at first when we went, you had no idea what you're going to see, correct? No. I know that I kind of explained to you some things, what you were going to see and what to expect, but until you got there, you really had no idea what you were getting into, right?
Not at all.
No. So before we left, were you actually excited to go to Fan Expo?
Not really, because I wasn't into most of the things that was there, and I wasn't the most excited to go because I had no clue what was there, and it was my first time, so I didn't know no one there, nothing there, no actors, no nothing big to hype me up about.
Okay, so once we arrived at Fan Expo, you saw the size of the building, you saw the big long lineups. At that point, Did you start getting excited? What did you think at that point?
I thought it'd be just like I saw how big it was, and I'm like, how much stuff could be in this building here? And there's like a huge building. There's like a walkway to go to another building, and an elevator to go to another building. It's crazy.
So you got your steps in that day, is what you're saying?
Yes, my feet were hurting.
So once we got into the show, and like you said, there was a lot to see, a lot to take in. What was one of the first things that really made you go, wow, this could be interesting?
Don't tell us, Steve Mel.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah.
Well, there was this guy, he had like this big thing of Funko Pops, and I started getting some there at the local store, and I'm like, holy Funko Pops. There was like aisles of Funko Pops.
Do you remember which one you got? What was the first one you saw that you went, oh,
I got too many.
You got too many to even, yeah.
So now I know the thing that really got your attention and really kind of converted and flipped you from being, yeah, this is okay, to okay, let's go. I'm interested. I want to see what else is in here. Was the Pokemon life-size statues. Now, I think when we walked in, I think you were the one that first spotted them, correct?
Yes.
And well, I'll just let you explain. What was your first impression and what did you think? And yeah, go ahead.
So when I was like a little bit younger, I still like to do it a little bit there. Well, I collected the cards, and I remember just the joy of going to Walmart and buying one. And I opened them and I found my favorite one. It was Charizard. And when I heard about her making a Charizard one, I was impressed. And I saw so many Pokemon that I liked when I was younger, like my favorite ones. So I really liked it.
Now it's important that everyone knows that that person, Kat Ward, she is going to be attending TimminsCon in 2022, and she will have the life-size Pokemon statues here. So, Jeff, which ones do you hope that she brings?
Well, I hope she brings Charizard, and if she brings us that's fine. But she had lots of them there. I didn't even remember how many she had there. She had so many, it was crazy.
As long as she brings your favorite, the rest of them, too bad for the other people. That's good.
So if you had a chance, would you want to go back to Fan Expo?
Yeah, it just like I'm not into like there's like the Pokemon stuff and there's like some other superhero stuff I'm into, but like half the other things I had no clue what it was.
And this is stuff, I mean, that you're going to grow into. A lot of the stuff that, a lot of the shows are more geared towards adults, but as a young geek, you're going to grow into an older geek, and all those different things are going to start. So it's kind of like, just like your TimminsCon here in Timmins, there's stuff for the young ones, but there's stuff for the older people too, right? So it's kind of like how we, you're going to grow into the other stuff, and you'll look back and you'll go, oh, I remember I liked Pokemon, but now I like this show because she's in it. This actress here is in it. This is why I like this show. So things are going to change. But
so what advice would you give someone, Jeff, who's your age and hasn't been to either TimminsCon or a Fan Expo or a Comic-Con in general? What kind of advice would you give to them before they go into the event?
Do some chores, save some money because you're going to be buying a lot of stuff.
Well, those are very wise words. On that, Jeff, we'll let you get back to doing your chores at home because you got to make some money to pay for your stuff you want to buy, right?
Yes.
Wink, wink. So thanks, Jeff, for your time. We appreciate it, buddy, and we'll be back after these words.
Summer streets and the pavements are burning. I sit around, trying to smile, but the air is so heavy and dry. It's a cruel, cruel summer. My friends are away and I'm on my own. It's too hard to handle, so I got to get up and go.
Oh, this is so exciting! Are you watching this?
It's bigger than me.
It's a cruel, cruel summer.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Well, I got to say that was some pretty interesting information from two newbies, I guess you can call it. It's important to hear that kind of information, especially for people who don't know what a Comic-Con is or could have heard the name Comic-Con but never had a chance to be to one.
Yeah, for sure. And I knew it. I knew as soon as Fran said something changed her mind, I knew it was going to be something like she said. Because I thought, wait a second, what is she going to say? Okay. As soon as she started talking about Arrow, I said, oh, I know now. I know what turned her into a geek. And he's a good-looking guy.
Hey, you know what? I got to admit, good-looking Canadian dude, so you got to give him that.
And a nice guy, too, from what I've been told.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of meeting him twice, and he was very, very cordial, very polite. Of course, he's a Canadian, so he's a nice guy. So what do you expect?
That's what happens.
But no, and like Fran said, when she went to the first one, she had no idea what the hell she was getting into.
Yeah.
I remember, I think one year she actually saw one of her friends in line, waiting for another guest, and she had on a pair of like spandex, but it had like Deadpool on it and all kinds of logos. And I remember her looking at me and kind of this freak, you know.
Yeah.
And then within a couple of seconds, you heard Francince. And then when Fran turned around, she knew that girl who had those pants on. Yeah. So anyway, it's been quite an adventure getting her involved in this type of genre. And now that Jeff's starting to get involved and interested in it too, it's kind of cool. So
that's awesome. You know what? You got me one time. One of my favorite movie series is Nightmare on Elm Street. And
oh yes,
you're not into that. You're not into horror movies.
No, at all.
But for me, you went in line and waited for a Robert Englund autograph. And I have it at my house. It says, Hey, Constable Rick, write Freddie a ticket.
Yeah.
Robert England.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
And now that Fran's really into this type of stuff, she's actually been watching a DC show called Lucifer. I'm sure anyone who's in the DC environment, the DC genre, is probably aware of this show. It's currently it started on NBC, I believe, and then Netflix picked it up after 2 seasons. They're up to season 5 now, and probably in our next episode, you're going to see how much Fran's turned into a geek. I was actually able to secure a late birthday gift for her. She actually had the chance to speak to Tom Ellis, who's the star of Lucifer, and we're going to post that video next week on the next episode. So that should be interesting. It was quite comical.
I saw it. Yeah, it was good.
It was quite comical. So, and he as well looks like a pretty cool cat. It was a very short window, but he seemed pretty cool. So, with that, we'll call this episode a finale for today. So, on behalf of Rick and Jason, we wanted to thank everyone for watching. Again, as usual, we remind everyone, if you have not got your vaccinations, please go and get it so we can get this COVID pandemic under control and get back to our normal life. So
Please.
yes,
Please.
absolutely. Everyone, please stay safe. We'll catch you on our next episode. Thank you for watching.
See you, everybody.